Inside PressBox is presented by Maryland Mutual Mortgage. Contact them at mdmutual.com for the best mortgage to fit your needs. And now joining me is one of the best known sports media writers in the country, the Washington Examiner's Jim Williams. Jimmy, how are you?
I'm well, Stan. Thanks very much for the opportunity to be on the show.
And it's great to finally meet you. We've known each other for a few years now.
Yes, indeed.
I've enjoyed your writing.
I've enjoyed your radio and your wonderful press box.
All right. Hey, what's interesting about you is you come to the sports media writing from a background in having directed and
produced,
written and produced,
Right.
Including a lot of work in the early days of ESPN's coverage of the early rounds of the NCAA tournament.
Right. Back in the day, it used to be produced by the NCAA and in cooperation with ESPN and CBS. And what we would do is we would do 4 games on a Thursday or a Friday, and then, of course, the 2 games on either Saturday or Sunday. And it was, to be honest, it was most fun you had, but it was exhausting because you would get there for a game, for a day. You'd set up and you would start working at about 6 to 7 o'clock on a morning, and then you wouldn't finish until midnight. And so it was an awful long day, but it was tremendous fun. And this is a great, it's a great tournament. It's a great thing to be a part of.
These first couple days of the tournament are really, really special when you go from game to game and all that. But some of that magic is taken away a little bit now, isn't it, with this new 14-year contract? Because now every single game is somewhere where you can watch it from start to finish.
Well, part of that was the plan. And the plan was Turner and CBS, when they got into this deal, and it's a 14-year multi-billion-dollar deal, which accounts for about 96% of the revenue that the NCAA gets for a year.
How much do you and I get out of that deal, Jim?
Last time I checked, Stan, I was looking for the check, and I still hadn't gotten it. So
okay.
I don't know if you get something out of it, but I didn't.
No, I did not.
Anyway, the deal is structured on what they call a multi-screen platform. So that means that basically TNT, CBS, TBS, True TV, the NCAA online, which is you can see it on computer, and also you can see it now on iPhone and the iBook or iPad. They're going to get it on as many screens as possible. That maximizes all the advertising that they get. So their goal now is to, as you say, in the old days they would flip, and if there was an exciting game, they'd flip to it and you'd get to see it. Well, now what they'll do is they'll give you a taste of what's going on, and then they'll guide you to the other channel. And so the goal is to get you to watch as many channels during the course of this entire 2-week period as humanly possible.
So at the end of the 2 weeks, you can count up all the different views from iPads, from phones and everything.
Exactly, and online. So you have an opportunity. Let's say you missed it. You can go, and it's online. You can go and watch the game you just missed. So the goal for Turner and for CBS, given that they've spent in the billions of dollars for this 14-year deal, is to get you as a viewer to a position where you know, all right, I got to watch CBS for this game, I'm going to go to TNT for this game, I'll be over at True TV for this one. All of that is good promotion for those networks so you can get to a point where you get them in your psyche.
Including this new network that's part of this now. What is this called? The True Network?
True used to be Court TV.
Okay.
And it's owned by Turner Network Television. And what they do is they basically have branded themselves in a demographic that very much hits the men. So from their standpoint, and there are 94 million homes, which is about 6 million less than ESPN, TNT, TBS. So the goal is to give this new network a brand and utilize this programming to get that brand across. So it's very good, very smart on Turner's part to use the NCAA tournament to, in essence, debut this network.
Yeah, it's certainly, it's like debuting a show in a sense.
Exactly.
One of the interesting things, though, is I heard Billy Packer on with Rob Long today, a terrific interview, and Billy said the problem he has with this new round, you know, of play-in games, is 2 of them were 16 against 16,
Mm-hmm.
but 2 of them were 16 against 12.
Yeah.
I didn't get that, and shouldn't it be 17 versus 16, 17 versus 16?
I agree with you. I think that part of the problem, he was talking, I think, specifically about Clemson.
Clemson.
Because Clemson was a 12 seed. And Billy's theory on it was if it was a 12, then the 12 should be playing another 12 or
Yeah.
you know, it had to be something equal. The situation was such that I totally agree. I think that these should be the final 4 teams in the tournament, regardless.
Correct.
They should all be They should all be the 16 seeds that will move on to play the ones. That should be the way it should be. And to have a Clemson have to play a 16 seed and then get on a plane and fly and then play an early game, which
Yeah.
made it even worse.
Yeah.
So these guys had, in essence, maybe 6 to 8 hours sleep from the time they finished in Dayton until the time they had to play in
I
Tampa.
mean, he went so far as to say, Jim, that if he were the president of Clemson,
Right.
he would have said, hey, we ain't going.
Right.
We ain't playing like this because we're due to be in the tournament.
Right.
We shouldn't have to play in.
No, you shouldn't have to play an in game. So I think there's going to be some tweaking, and especially as we know, you know that 68 is not going to be the cap. You know it's going to go to 70 or 80 or possibly even 100 teams.
Now, I mean, the point that Billy made was probably a good one, that putting the 12s in there probably makes that a little bit more attractive. But I can't imagine that the country, many more people watched a 12 play a 16 than would have watched the 17 and the 16.
Stan, you're absolutely right. To be honest with you, looking at the ratings, which were good, 1.2, 1.3 on True TV, the key was that it's not going to be any better or any. You're not going to get more. The casual
not
viewer
moving
is
the
not
needle
going to.
by
No,
having
the
Clemson
casual
in there.
fan is not going to tune it in.
All right. We're with Jim Williams. When we get back, we're going to talk a little bit about this NFL lockout and the dollars and cents of that. Sign up for the weekly PressBox email newsletter with the latest Baltimore sports information presented by Toyota. Just go to PressBoxOnline.com and submit your email address today.